Welcome to Crushing Brevard. We have Marisol Masferrer.
Very well.
Thank you. Look at that. 1 for 7. Matt Helmentaler is going to be really mad that I got her name right the first time. Anyway, but thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Marisol is a well-respected professional in the coding industry.
Yes, sir.
Is it Sherwin Williams or is it a subsidiary?
No, it's Sherwin Williams,
Yeah.
and then I manage a brand called Uniflex Fluid Applied Roofing Systems,
Okay.
and Cool Seal Reflective Coatings.
Okay. And we just talked about how you got, and we'll get to that later, but you just got promoted as national manager here in the last year or so.
Yep.
Awesome. With everybody, we just kind of asked them to tell us how they ended up in Melbourne, because the whole point of this is to kind of expose Melbourne to people who haven't been to Melbourne or haven't heard of Melbourne. We think Melbourne's in Australia and isn't in Florida as well. So, how did you end up? Tell us a little bit about your childhood and how you ended up here.
Okay. So I was born in Santiago, Chile. So I'm Chilean. We moved here to the United States back in 1973, and we started in Tampa, in Dunedin, Tampa. Lived there with my dad, my family, obviously, and then my father's brothers used to live there. My father didn't like the fact that nobody spoke Spanish. He was not a big component of
Over at Tampa, no one spoke Spanish?
Oh no, not at that time in 1973.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was pretty Bible Belt, very I don't want to say anything derogatory, but it was definitely very different at those times.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, my father took a trip to Miami to go visit I guess a business partner, and he saw that everybody there spoke Spanish.
Okay.
So sure enough, we ended up moving to Miami, and that's where I grew up. So
How old were you when you moved from Chile?
I'm gonna go with 3 or 4 around there. I still remember Chile. I remember getting, to the United States and all of that. So, but I'm gonna go with about 3 or 4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you grew up in Miami?
I did.
Most of your childhood there?
All of it.
Okay. And now you're here. So how did that happen?
So
what made you pick here over Miami?
Well, a lot of things at the time. So I've been in Miami all my life. Started there working. So taking it back to where I started, been working since the age of 15. Became a store manager for Merry Go Round when I was 19. Then I went to become a store manager over at Claire's Accessories. Worked in the mall for a long time, and finally said, I can't do any of this. The whole working on the weekends and the holidays, missing on family time and stuff. So I ended up leaving, and this is probably in 1997. I ended up meeting. I've been married, I've been divorced, and after I got divorced, 1997, I ended up meeting this boy, and I was with him for 7 years, and it was a really fun time in my life because he was a 3D animator. He had graduated from Full Sail out of Orlando, and his family, his mom and dad, Linda and Bob, they're like my adopted parents. Both my parents are deceased, but when I met him, we just started this company working in the nightclub industry. He used to do all the different flyers for the nightclubs, and we used to do parties and host parties at the nightclubs, and this is between 1998 till 2005. So it was a lot of fun, and that was the time when South Beach was just becoming South Beach.
Right.
It was when all of the hotels that are now hotels used to be assisted living facilities.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
so
I can't even imagine.
what you see South Beach as today used to be back in the day, all of the people that came in from the war.
The old folks home.
The old folks home, exactly.
Did not know that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So little by little, big companies people started acquiring these places and turning them to swanky hotels or swanky nightclubs, and that was a time when South Beach was like the gem.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun. So I got to do a lot of fun things and meet a lot of fun people, a lot of celebrities and all of that. But with all that being said, in 2001, when we had obviously 9/11, nobody wanted to celebrate. Nobody wanted to, party or do anything, and there wasn't a lot of business. And my business was going out there and doing these parties, making money off of the people that were coming to these events, hosting them, putting them together, getting paid by sponsorships by companies like Bacardi or, whoever the big corporate sponsor that hired us to do these events. And yeah, 9/11 happened and nobody wanted to do anything, and I needed to find something else. So my best friend Jen, that I went to Hawaii with, and we've been best friends since we're 13, and her daughter is my goddaughter.
Oh, nice.
So she went to law school with this girl Jill, and her husband was going to open up coatings, roof coating companies, or it was called Infinity Paints and Coatings. And he needed somebody that can do all the marketing campaign, brochures, data pages, safety data pages, even the buckets, the labels, you know, all of that. So she recommended myself and my ex at the time, Jason. And I went there and I spent like 3 months with him, just kind of getting to learn the business, you know, in order to better understand what his model looked like, what he was going to be doing, how everything else looked like, and Sherwin Williams, Benjamin Moore, doing comparative analysis of that market. And we just became really good friends. And I was in the process of getting all of this stuff finalized for him when we were sitting in his office one day. And he used to sell direct to the contractors. So the contractors would come there, they would buy the coatings, and then they would go to the Sherwin Williams down the street to buy like the applicators, the brushes, whatever.
Yeah, everything else.
The manager called and said, hey, I have all these people that are coming from your place, coming over here and getting what they need in order to finish the job. Would you be interested in becoming a vendor for us? And I can put you into the system and I can sell everything through our store. And we're like, he's like, whoa.
Yeah, good.
I was like, that's money in the bank. I think that's a really good, you know, idea. And why don't you do that first? Because you don't have to build any buildings. You know, there's no brick and mortar.
You don't have to pay anybody to sit around and wait for people to show up.
You're just brokering. That's awesome.
So he said, well, I need somebody to manage the account. And he goes, do you want to try it? And I said, sure. Until, you know, business picks up over here, I'll start doing this. Well, business does not start picking up over here, and I was doing this and I was really enjoying it, and I was calling on stores, calling on reps, calling on contractors. I started building my own little like conglomerate of really loyal customer base and store bases, and little by little grew and grew and grew. And eventually, I believe Sherwin Williams, that's the story that I was told when I was hired, that they saw the actual success and the value. And they said, hey, we're going to acquire this company. And they did so in 2005. They acquired a company out of Largo, Florida called KST Coatings. And for a long time there, they were after me to come work for them. And I was like, you guys are a bunch of paint guys. You don't know what you're doing in roofing. You're going to mess it all up for everybody. Sure enough, they did hit a lot of bumps and stuff. But eventually,
they didn't have Marisol. Marisol.
Eventually, in 2019, one of the biggest reasons, my mom had Alzheimer's. So in the company that I was working for, he gave me a lot of leeway. I managed myself. I managed everything. And if anything or any emergency with my mom came up, there wasn't an issue of me like leaving early or having to cancel, whatever the case was. So when my mom did pass away in 2010, in 2011, that February, April 1st actually, I came to work for Sherwin Williams.
Okay. Now, roof coating. Walk me through that, because
Absolutely.
I'm sure a lot of people are like, I don't coat my roof. What, am I missing something?
So specifically, we play in the commercial field. So like like this building, any building on the street that has a flat roof, pretty much, instead of having to re-roof the roof, if the roof qualifies after verifying it, then we can do what's called a fluid applied system after repairs are done on the roof to bring it up to a coatable situation. And these systems are three things. They're sustainable, they're cost effective, and the warranties that we provide are renewable.
Oh, wow, okay.
So
renewable.
Yeah.
So you come out and inspect the roof after the warranty ends and be like, yeah, we can do this for another.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha. Wow,
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, so with the sustainability piece right now, we're running out of landfill space. Sometimes you don't have to replace the roof just because it's 30 years old, and if you maintained it, there's no reason why you should bring it up. It's very costly. Those materials do not do well in a landfill. It takes thousands of years for them, you know. So with the sustainability piece is really working with companies and large companies and small companies as well, that are looking to minimize their carbon footprint, are looking for reflectivity, the heat off of the roof, looking for a waterproofing system, and looking for a renewable warranty.
Okay, I just in my head I'd assumed it was flat roofs that we were talking about, but then I'm like, maybe I should just ask because there's so many times I'm wrong. Just
Well,
in general.
yeah.
I mean,
No, but
not about that, just in general.
we could definitely paint a pitch roof, but we're not pitch. We paint it.
Okay.
Flat, we coat it.
Got
So
it.
coatings
Okay.
are thicker, 16 mils or more. Paints are thinner, 2 to 3 mils, and they're more for aesthetics. So
Okay.
anytime somebody calls us and says, "Oh, I have this roof," and it's a metal roof, let's say, a lot of metal roofs are aesthetic looking. They're architectural, is what we call them.
Yeah.
So we're like looks or leaks. So if it's for the look, we have paints to
Yeah.
change the color and do whatever you need.
Gotcha.
If it's leaks, then yes, now we need to, dive a little bit deeper, see what's going on, and 9 out of 10 times any like metal, a certain pitch, you're painting.
Yeah.
Anything over 312 pitch, you're painting. Anything under that, it's more flat, so you want to coat it.
And mil is thousandth of an inch, right?
Yeah, so with
Okay.
paint, you get about 3-4 mils when
So
you paint,
width of a human hair, kind of.
pretty
type
much.
thing. Okay.
Yeah, and with coatings, you're minimum 16 mils, up to 40 or 60 if you want.
Yeah, I used to build circuit boards. We worked at mills, and no
There
one
you
knew
go.
what it was.
Yeah.
Like you tell people, oh yeah, it's like 7 mils. We're like, what?
Nerd alert.
And you can't spell geek without a double E. Sorry.
Oh, God.
So, describe growing up in Miami. Well, I mean, you did a little bit, but just describe growing up in what day-to-day life in Miami is nonstop.
That's a different part of the country
Yeah.
than most of the country.
Yeah, I mean,
That and Vegas are like the two places where
Yeah.
I think it'd be like,
so I feel like, when you're thinking about me growing up in Miami, you're definitely thinking about how Miami looks today.
Okay.
And when I was growing up there, it didn't look like it did today, but yes, it was kind of getting there. I mean, Miami was the cocaine capital of the world.
Mhm.
A lot of the Miami skyline, they say, was born off of drug money
Yeah.
being laundered through
Yeah.
all the different banks. I lived in an area called Kendall, which is South Kendall, more like, by 8th Street, and our life was very, closed. I mean, we weren't exposed to all of that stuff as much.
Yeah.
I did go to private school, and you would see like all these people that have money. It was like we would call them marimberos, which is people that have drug money. So they show up
okay.
in Porsches and Ferraris,
Yeah.
and you're like, what does your dad do again?
He's at home all day.
He was
Yeah,
a businessman.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was fun. I mean, my parents worked a lot. My mom had daycares while I was growing up.
Okay.
So, hence why I
Whoa.
don't have kids.
Oh man, I can't even.
And so I used to wake up to screaming kids and go to sleep to crying kids
Yeah.
sometimes because she started it at home.
Yeah.
And then she ended up moving it over to shopping center.
Okay.
And she was actually the first woman to through legislation to get laws approved to open up daycares in shopping centers.
Okay.
So my mom was a trailblazer. I definitely get my work initiative and everything from her.
Okay.
She's awesome. Well, was awesome.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. But yeah, it was a lot of work. But I always used to be there helping my mom and my dad.
Okay.
So I feel like I've been working since the age of 10, to be honest.
So
you
you're
know?
saying Miami isn't Miami Vice Miami, it's Miami of Ohio Miami, except it's in Florida.
Except, yeah.
Okay.
Well, at that time it was,
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
like I said, in my 20s and my 30s, it was amazing. I mean, it was so much fun. We
Yeah.
were doing
No shortage of anything. to do.
no shortage of anything fun to do. Trust me, I would not change it for a million years. So,
Okay.
But you asked me how I got here, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yep.
moving on there, so inflation, expenses,
Mhm.
and breakup.
Hmm.
So in 2005, when I ended up breaking up with my ex at the time,
Mhm.
I ended up meeting another boy, and we were together for 10 years.
Okay.
And when that ended, and it's tough. What I do is tough. I travel all the time.
Yeah.
I've been to every single island in the Caribbean for work. I've been to every country in Central America for work. And had all of, Florida at the time when I
Mhm.
was with my ex. And eventually that took the toll, but we had made a commitment that I was going to take this opportunity and take this job.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, resentment grows.
Yeah.
So we ended up breaking up. amicably to some extent. But at the end, I was looking for a place to live, and I couldn't really find any place that was affordable, especially if I was going to be home 2 days and 2 days a weekend, right? Saturdays and Sundays, and I'm not going to pay $2,000 for a safe apartment where I wanted it to be, when I can maybe go to Orlando and pay $1,000 and live right by the airport. That's what I decided to do. So for me, it was from a financial standpoint, it made more sense. It was definitely tough. I was off, from a breakup, leaving my support systems with friends and family. But as a business decision for myself, for my career, and also financially, that was a big deal for me because it really helped me save. And I was gone all week, home on the weekends, gone all week, home on the weekends, never going out, doing anything. I ended up saving a lot of money, started looking for a place, and a good friend of mine helped me find the place where I live now, which is in Palm Colony, right there. So at the time, it was, the person that was living there always kept the windows open. They had a lot of, black mold, and it looked terrible. But I was like, hey, I'll buy it. And I did. And it was very, very cost effective, right across the street from the ocean.
Probably stole it.
Huh?
Probably stole it compared to how it's valued now.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes, pretty much. It was really, it was a really good.
It was a wise business decision.
It was a deal I could not say no to.
And you got to pay hook up for the mold or some coatings.
Exactly. So I ended up gutting the place out, put all new windows, floors, everything, paint, the whole works. Well, with the exception of the kitchen and the bathroom, that I'm going to do now. But other than that, it was a great business decision for me. I barely owe any money on it, and like I said, location, and I was able to meet so many amazing people here that I'm just the best decision. Yes, you and you.
Nice.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
No, that's. Tell us a little bit about. So you're in Indian Atlantic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your favorite places over there.
Well,
because we all know this place is amazing.
This place is thebomb.com. Ichabod's. Yeah,
we talk about Ichabod's on this all the time.
Really, that's, Ichabod's is the glue that holds our little community, I feel like, together, when we all meet people all the time there. It's like the place that you walk in, it's cheers, everybody knows your name.
I don't even text anybody, they're just there. You
Exactly.
just show up by yourself.
You're just like, I'm just going to show up and everybody will follow. That's pretty much it. Their morning glory for breakfast, cuisine, if we're talking food-wise, right? Are we talking food? Or
food.
Okay. Yeah, places like that, and I, enjoy those areas. Chart House as well over there, and, just, there's a lot of cute little places to go to all throughout, just not in Indian Atlantic by itself.
Yeah. One of the things that keeps coming up is people talk about places that they're not changed. They're not changed. It's not, my favorite place is the Ruth's Chris, or my favorite place is this.
And they're not chains. With the exception of Chart House, right? But these are
supporting your neighbors when you spend money there.
You're supporting locals. You're supporting your neighbors, exactly, because they may work there, they may bus there, they may manage there. At the end of the day, it's a very nice, tight, knit community. And we all support each other in whatever way that we can. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I think it's kind of cool that everybody kind of, not everybody knows each other, but when you meet people, everybody's willing to talk about stuff and be friendly.
Go here, do this, let me recommend this, let me recommend that.
Absolutely.
Everybody's here with a helping hand.
All right, so I hear you play golf.
I do.
A little bit.
Yeah, well, I've only been playing for 2 years, so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like I said, we own Valspar, so Sherwin Williams does, not really like me. But, 2.5 years ago, I went for the first championship with customers, and one of the things that we did is we did a scramble, brands against different brands. So Uniflex brand, I just touched my mic, sorry. Uniflex brand with Duracell, H&C, and we had a team with our customers, and we went to play, and I was like, okay, listen, guy, because these guys, they play all the time. I call them my British connection, because they're British contractors, and they love to play. And I was like, I'll play with you guys, but I'm not really good. I've never played. I dabbled in it when I was in my 20s, but you can't even call it that. But other than that, I'm like, I haven't played in a long time. So we ended up going, and every time I hit the ball, I made contact and it went forward. So
That's good. You say that like a joke. That's amazing.
I know that now,
That's
for
awesome.
sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I really enjoyed it, and I got the bug, and immediately I got myself some clubs. I started playing. I haven't taken a lesson. I know I have to take a lesson. I did one lesson, and it was, but for sure, if I take lessons, it'll be better for me. I know that, but it's a lot of fun, and I just go out. I like to be outside, and it's beautiful weather here, and just to hit the ball.
Where do you like to play?
Special Holland.
You like Special Holland?
I really enjoy it there. Yeah.
Okay, I live 30 feet from there, and I've never played it.
Oh God, you got to do
I'm
it.
an awful human being.
I
was going to go over there today and chip and putt, and I never got out of the house. So, I mean, literally, there's that Shell gas station just south of there.
Yeah.
My wife and I walk to the Shell and then back.
Oh my God.
That's our morning walk a lot of times.
I love the course. It's a very narrow, long course, but you have the ocean on one side, the river on the other, nice cross breeze typically.
Okay.
If I go somewhere like to Vieira East or Duran or I don't know, wherever, it's like, oh my God, it's so hot. There's no breeze.
Oh, you get more of the breeze over on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Or Crane Creek, you played there?
I haven't yet,
okay.
no. So, but, I mean, I'm always willing to.
I hear that one's wide open and you can hit it anywhere and not be in trouble. That's why
for roadies.
Say to go play there.
We're gonna
Okay,
start
good
there.
to know.
Yeah, it could help a little bit, but nice. So you talk about travel. I know you do business travel and you like to do personal travel too.
Yeah.
We're talking a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the business travel first.
Yeah.
So, has the change in job responsibilities made the travel more or just wider, or what? Talk about that a little
All
bit.
of the above.
Okay.
Yeah, so as a national sales manager, I have 7 regionals, which is what I used to be, underneath me. And with my 7 regionals, they all cover different regions. So the regions, we cover all of Canada, all of the United States, all of Mexico, all of the Central America, the Caribbean, and then now we just got a distributor in Guam.
Guam, okay. You
So,
been to Guam?
Not yet.
Okay.
No,
Cool.
there's a lot of government stuff there that
Okay.
we can go and look at, and we just started with a new independent distributor there.
Okay, so you, as a regional, you used to fly around your region,
Correct.
and now, as a national, you fly around and check out all the regions.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
you're traveling the same amount. It's just you might, instead of just flying to Nashville, you're flying to Guam, or you're flying to.
Yeah, or Nashville or anywhere. I mean, it's I'm going pretty much everywhere. It
And
just
you-
depends where I'm needed, right? So if we have high-profile customers that I haven't met, large events, opportunities, trade shows. We also do a lot of trainings for our contractors. We call it Uniflex University,
Okay.
on how to do our applications, read our specifications for
Right.
proper.
So you don't screw it up and make
Correct.
you look bad, right?
Yeah. So we're, we do
Heard
those
that.
in the bigger markets.
Yeah.
So I was just in Omaha, and you wouldn't think that Omaha is a big market, but it's a pretty big market for us because of all the distribution centers that they build out there because
Right.
of the space.
Yeah, centrally located, good rail hub.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
so-
river that goes through there that hooks up to the Mississippi.
possibly so.
I think
don't
so.
know.
Maybe the Missouri.
Unless it,
I think so.
not yet, but it's in the books. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so far we've done one in Denver, we did one in Cleveland, Omaha, we're gonna do one now in Charlotte, and then Phoenix. So I go to a lot of different places.
Do any of your regional experiences still line up with the national, or are you just managing the managers?
Yeah, no, absolutely they do, because I mean, I was in that role for 11, almost 12 years. So I can bring a lot of insight, and value to them, not only on the knowledge on the coding side, but also on just having those experiences. It's not gonna differ much of the experiences,
Gotcha.
challenges that
Yeah.
they're, hurdles that they're, facing in the field. So my job now is to help them and get those hurdles and challenges out of their, for them to do their job, and to support them in any way that I can in sales, whether it comes to marketing, whatever it is that we need. I try to facilitate it with the entire team. We have a marketing
Yeah.
team, a technical team, a bunch of different things that we can pull from different business units and emulate and replicate. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Best
So you're
practices.
you're still traveling like 5 days a week then?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I try to be home on Mondays and travel Tuesday through Friday,
Okay.
or vice versa. It just depends. So last week it was Good Friday.
Yes.
So we had the event that we're gonna do. Typically we do it on Wednesdays. We did it on Tuesday, so I got there Monday.
Gotcha.
Next week I'm gonna be in Puerto Rico, and I'm also shadowing a couple directors, women directors that are in the field, and it's gonna be a big event in Puerto Rico with a lot of different brands.
Okay.
So we're gonna be getting there on Sunday and through Saturday. And the reason we're doing that is that we're doing some personal, like one-on-ones, getting to know each other, shadowing.
Absolutely,
stuff like that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
building the rapport, so then when questions come up, they don't hesitate to call you. They
Yeah.
know, they know what kind of person you are. They've talked to you before. They're comfortable talking to you.
Exactly.
I did the corporate handshake thing every once in a while. It's important to do that. 'Cause
Absolutely.
Otherwise, people get, oh my gosh, I got to call Marisol. She's a national. Oh my gosh, I'll try and fix it myself. I
Yeah.
don't want to have to,
Yeah,
Instead,
exactly.
they know you.
Put my
and
pants on the same way everybody else does. So I always try to make it as comfortable as I can to anybody, and just be, I'm here to help, but I can't help you if I don't know, right? So.
All right, so you're even though you travel that much, you like to travel personally too.
I do.
Did you get back to Chile?
I haven't, and I
Okay.
do need to do that.
Okay.
I've been to Japan, which was amazing.
Wow.
I've been to Italy, all over
Okay.
Italy, and Sardinia. I have family that lives in Sardinia. And in 2005, I went with my mom for about 3 weeks to
Wow.
visit some of the family there.
That'd been awesome. 'Cause
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, but I do love to travel. So it's a curse, and it's
Got a
awesome.
favorite place other than Italy? Sounds like it was fun. But
I love Italy,
Yeah.
and if it was up to me, I'd probably move there. I
Yeah.
think Italy is just amazing, and then just being in Europe, to be able to connect to all these different countries. So
Yeah.
definitely want to travel a little bit more extensively in Europe. One of the things that my friends and I are hopefully planning, well, I know I am, but it just depends what year, whether it's next year or the following, is to go to Greece for a couple of days,
Nice.
for a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and explore that part. So yeah, travel is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard, because I was just thinking when you said Greece, I'm like, oh, the beaches are. Oh, wait a second. It's like,
It's just different.
We have that right here. So
Yeah, but it's more the culture. For
Yeah.
me, it's the culture. You can go. People like you love to go to beach. To different beaches, right? But the culture is what's amazing. I mean, the Caribbean, like, oh, you've been to one island, you've been to them all, and it's like, no, because if you go to Aruba, and then you go to, Curacao, or you go to, the Bahamas, it's just different culture. Similar, but different. Jamaica, so.
Do you find you're fluent in Spanish, obviously?
Sí.
That's my answer.
Sí.
Do you speak Spanish? Sí.
Well, the 10 words I know.
Yeah, exactly. It's in my repertoire.
Yeah.
So do you find that that's helped in your role, given the fact that a lot of you talked about Central America, Mexico, Caribbean.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Caribbean's full of all different kinds of languages, but
Yeah.
the other two are fairly Spanish heavy. So
Absolutely.
that's helped a little bit to be able to go down there
It's
and just kind
helped
of
tremendously.
cranking their
Yeah.
language. So.
Yeah, no, it definitely helps a lot. I think it's a very huge component of my success, and being put in this situation of, being in this role overall.
Yeah.
It's just, the language is very important. And I used to speak Italian at some point, when I was in my high school. I took Italian, I loved it. Similar to Spanish. But like now I'm going to go to Quebec for work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to go to Montreal for work, and I'm like, oh,
little
je
bit
m'appelle
French.
Marisol. I'm like, bonjour. I'm like learning on Babbel. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, that's
Oh,
right.
nice.
That's
I was
you
going
know.
to ask you if you use Babbel or
Oh
not.
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do
So,
you like that? Is it-
I do.
Okay.
I do like it.
I've never. I hear the radio commercials. I'm like, man, I should
You're
learn
babbling
that.
right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, so anyway, peanut gallery chiming in there. In case you couldn't hear, he said I'm babbling right now. Which
There you go.
I babble all the time, so really it's a good thing. But awesome. So you just said you came back from Hawaii recently.
Yeah. So
Oh.
I went on vacation
That's right, I
to
like
Maui with my best friend and my goddaughter and one of her best friends for spring break.
Oh,
so,
that's been awesome.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah, so I have a timeshare for the Westin. I have one in St. John that I haven't really used in a while because of COVID and stuff like that. And then I have another one. I went to Cabo last year
Love Cabo.
in March at the Westin. It was like a promotional thing, and I went with my best friend. She's
The
my
Westin's way no.
I think they have two in Cabo,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we stayed. It was the closest one to the downtown area.
Mhm.
It was really nice. we ended up buying a timeshare there.
Okay.
Well, my best friend did. So, and
Yeah.
because I already had a timeshare, they could have given us a big discount if I was on the deed, and we did that. So,
Okay.
so we used those points to go to Maui, the
Nice.
Westin in Maui.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the Westins, I mean, I'm not a huge timeshare guy. The Westin does a pretty good job with
Yeah,
with
Marriott's
that stuff, so.
amazing. It's,
Yeah.
you know, the Bonvoy and everything.
Yeah.
So, I used Marriott and Hilton, but Marriott overall.
Yeah.
So,
My first experience of traveling with my wife post kids was we went to Cancun, and the timeshare we had shared the parking lot with the Westin,
okay.
and those people looked like they were having a great time. We had a good time. They
Yeah.
looked like they were having a great time. So yeah.
Nice.
No, I love Westin. I would stay at the Westin in Atlanta when I went there.
Yeah.
Just they do a really good job.
But I'll tell you what, every single time that I cross the bridge, whether it's 192 or Uvalde Bridge
Mhm.
going home from the
Yeah.
airport, it's like,
It is a
it
different
just
feel.
melts everything
It
away.
is a
and
different
I'm
feel.
just like,
Yeah.
you know, I love our little beach and the waves and the surfers. It's totally different. If you go to Miami, there's no waves and it's really, really hot water. And I mean, the beach is
Yeah.
gorgeous, obviously.
Yeah.
It's different. And I just love our little town.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
it's
especially like days like this, you see so many people just like standing, running with their boards and their seats.
yeah, 'cause it's windy.
Yeah,
so you
because
get
it's
the
windy.
waves. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's actual
And I'm like,
waves.
I love this. Yeah.
Thanks for your insights. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Great.
I appreciate it.
Good luck with your career, and
Thank you.
we'll see you at least on Saturdays and Sundays over
Absolutely. Well,
over beachside a little bit. But yeah.
I'm here all week, so
Yeah.
it's not
Oh, nice.
every week. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see you around town.
Absolutely.
Love talking with you.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.